Good afternoon. My name's Robert Winokur. Welcome to my studio.
Robert Winokur has been making objects out of clay for over half a century.
I became an artist because I couldn't do anything else. I wasn't a very good academic student. I wasn't doing well at math in high school. I didn't know Latin from one end of the room to the other. So they sent me to a guidance counselor. And he said, well, you got to get your grades up. Why don't you take art and first aid? When the Second World War started, my father, who'd probably been without work because it was the height of the Depression, moved from Brooklyn, New York to Philadelphia. He was trained by the Navy to be a welder. The factories ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The workers were on a rotating schedule, so there were 4 weeks out of the rotation when my father didn't seem to be around. My mother was alone. In Brooklyn, the family lived within walking distance of each other simply because they couldn't afford a telephone. I guess she was suddenly sort of lonely. But anyway, she took a course at the community center to make ceramics. And she'd bring this white stuff wrapped in wet towels. And she'd sit at one end of the table and make these little clay flowers. And I'd sit at the other end of the table and do my homework. And I never touched the stuff. But later, when we moved back to New York and I took art to get my grades up, there was this white stuff in the ceramic studio. And I knew just what to do with that, make flowers.
Robert went on to get an art degree and an artist wife named Paula from Tyler School of Art in Philadelphia, and an MFA from Alfred University. The young couple moved to Texas for 2 years, where Robert taught, and then up to Massachusetts, where they made a living making and selling pottery. One of their teachers, Rudy Stoffel, got him a teaching job at Tyler.
So on the farm, I was making tableware. Paula and I, cups, saucers, casseroles, so we could live off it. And we did that for about 2 years until I got the call from Rudy. When I got to Tyler, it became apparent very quickly that I wasn't going to get tenure based on the fact that I could make 50 coffee cups a day. That tenure would be on having a show record, having reviews in respectable journals. At that point, I had to make stuff to show. Initially, I made vessels that stretched the idea to the point where it bordered on sculpture. Gradually weaned myself off the vessel into less utilitarian shapes and forms. I have no manifesto. It's important that I like what I've made just for the looks of it, not for the message. I collect children's drawings. This little girl made this drawing of a tiny little house, and a psychologist said to her, "Tell me about your drawing." And the little girl thought about it for a while and then said, "Well, this is a drawing to be looked at. It's not a story. I make clay things to be looked at, not to tell a story." Icons, Russian icons, Judaism, there's a thing called a kavana. A lot of religions use them, where you stare at something in a sort of mindless way and focus on the object to gain spirituality. A house is kind of like that. You look at it and it evokes an emotion.
I wanted to know why Robert has kept working with such diligence over so many years.
There's this little story that goes, Italians love their opera. And there was this tenor at La Scala who sang his aria. Applause, encore, bravo. And he sang it again. And the house went crazy. Bravo, encore. No. My voice, somewhere from way up on top, this voice yelled down, "You'll do it till you get it right." I do it till I get it right.